10 years ago, we saw Sejun Park win the World Championship with his Pachirisu, and to commemorate the moment, I decided to make his team in VGC today and see how well I could do in the new Regulation H. But maybe things didn't go as well as I thought, and maybe the team has not aged as well as I hoped. Lucky for us, Sejun Park did do a write-up about this team over on Nugget Bridge. This was a site that was very dedicated to recording the history of VGC before anybody else really was doing that. And thanks to them, we actually have all of the spreads that Sejun Park used in his World Championship team. And we're going to go through it real quick, and then we'll talk about it a little bit. But for the team analysis here, we got the Gyarados, and Gyarados was, of course, using that Gyarados site, and this is going to allow it to Mega Evolve, though that does not exist here today in 2024. So what I did is I went and made this a Terra Dark Pokemon, bringing that same vibe to the Gyarados itself. And it's 252 attack, 252 speed with Adamant to do the most damage that you possibly could with Dragon Dance, Waterfall, Earthquake, and Protect. This team was very strong on the Earthquakes. Earthquake was a very, very pivotal move back in this VGC era. +2 should knock out both of these, I think. But maybe I'm wrong. Definitely knocks out Electrode. Without a question, yeah. Just gets the double knockout. Nice, nice. So it makes a lot of sense that he had used it. Next, we have the famous Pachirisu. This is going to be Citrus Berry, Volt Absorb, Impish, 252 HP, 252 defense, and 4 special defense. Of course, we all know the spectacular moment of the Pachirisu living that Draco Meteor coming in that would have surely knocked out its partner Pokemon.
Also the threat too of a Super Fang gear, but we do see the Follow Me.
We have Follow Me coming out from Pachirisu, Jody keeping both in, Rock Slide coming out from Tyranitar, gonna have to hope for a flinch onto that Garchomp. It looks like we do see some small damage on both. Draco Meteor from Jody onto that Pachirisu. Probably originally targeted for that Garchomp, will connect, will deal some good damage, but we've already seen not enough. That Pachirisu is so bulky. If that Mo Rotom's Leaf Storm wasn't proof enough,
but never forget that moment. This is the Pachirisu that did so, and you can read up on here why he had picked that Pachirisu over some of the other Pokemon. Great read up. Link will be down in the description if you do want to check out Sejun's thoughts on this team and how it went for him at the World Championships. Next, we have Gothitelle with leftover Shadow Tag Calm. It's going to be 252, 172, 4, 76, 4. Psyshock, Thunderwave, Tickle, and Protect. This was a different era of VGC where Thunderwave was much, much stronger than it is now. And with that, you could go for stuff like flinching, plus you could go for the full paralysis, and you can go for confusion. So there was kind of a lot of that going into this team, which makes it not as good in today's VGC, because it was just really tough to try to navigate using that. I didn't bring I brought Gothitelle once, I think, to one game. Gardevoir with Choice Scarf. This was one of the primary fairy types with the new introduction of fairy types in the X and Y games. Gardevoir was one of the best ones. Of course, you did have Sylveon, though it was not considered as good as Gardevoir back then. I almost Moonblast too, but I didn't want Moonblast because if it goes Follow Me, that could be tough. Yeah. Okay, so I made the right read. This is we got Fluttermane at home. We had Telepathy, which was big for this team because he does have Earthquake. I don't know why I'm saying we. He has Earthquake over there. Telepathy, Timid. And it had a pretty interesting spread. This was to survive some stuff. Goes over it in the description there, so if you want to check that out, make sure you read that. But Dazzling Gleam, Psychic, Moonblast, and Swagger. Swagger is one of the few things we did have to change about this team, seeing as how it does not exist on Gardevoir anymore. So we don't have that. Another one that we changed is actually the item on Gyarados. We actually ended up changing that to a Clear Amulet. Next we have Garchomp with Focus Sash, Rough Skin Jolly, 252, 252, 4 HP, Earthquake Dragonclaw, Rock Slide Protect. He was one of the most common Pokemon, and the format was almost built around Garchomp, so a lot of people were using Garchomp at the time, and you just had to kind of compete with other ones. Okay, Earthquake. Even with the +2, I think we're fine. I think this should be a double knockout. No, it doesn't knock out Garganacl. And the Pokemon that I actually deemed probably the worst Pokemon on the team until I started playing, and we'll get to that a little bit later, is going to be Talonflame. This is going to be Life Orb Talonflame with Gale Wings. It's naive, minus special attack or special defense, plus speed, 252 attack, 164 special attack, 92 speed, Brave Bird, Overheat, Taunt, and Quick Guard. This is a Pokemon that is going to be super, super interesting. And yeah, it still does some pretty good stuff, as you'll see in a little bit, despite the fact that this set is very unorthodox. Even at the time, I believe it was pretty unorthodox. And yeah, so that is the team. Now, let's talk about how it's done in Regulation H and how I feel about the team itself. Going into Regulation H, I knew we were going to be at a disadvantage because it does have a lower power level than a lot of the Pokemon that are out there now. Of course, we did lose the Paradox Pokemon and a lot of the legendaries, but there are still some very, very strong options out there, with a lot of those Pokemon also getting new moves, new hidden abilities, or whatever it might be, creating a very volatile situation. This was definitely a team of the time, and that's why it did perform so well, and Pachirisu did so well, was because it was a team of the time. This is a team that was made specifically to counter the, I think, 80 other people that were at this tournament, or 79 other people. I think there was 80. It was specifically made for that. And bringing it to Regulation H really showed that it can no longer compete, maybe in better hands, but as you could see right here, to judge based on it. But even against Regulation H teams, it has been very hard and a struggle. I had a ton of losses, and as you can see right here, though, the star Pokemon of the whole thing was definitely this Talonflame. I don't think we ever switch, so yeah, I think we just go Overheat into Goldango. Nice. One shot. Let's go, baby. Nice. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Of course. I don't think the crit mattered, but it's possible that we survived 4, right? And now we definitely didn't, obviously. Yeah, we do hit. And then Earthquake should be enough to get the double. This Talonflame really allowed me to spread out damage more often, and I think this is something people should be looking into now. It one-shots so many things in the format at this current moment, Regulation H, that it is just better than using Brave Bird or Flare Blitz. So I think it's a really strong competitor for what we could put in the game. So saying that, I do have a rental code for this, so make sure that you guys check that out. It is going to be right there. And I do have a PokePaste, so you can check that out too. Like I said, there was a couple of alterations I did have to make for this, but yeah, this was a really, really tough team to use. And if you think you could do better, go ahead and go do better. I want to see somebody succeed with this team. Bring it to a, you know, Limitless tour or something like that. Have a good time with it. and let me know how it goes. But anyways, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you guys thumbs it up. If you're not subscribed, make sure you do so. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye, everybody.